Hello and welcome to the another seventh edition of Tech Talks with 46Alex. Today we are going to talk about securing your server. We had this discussion. We touched about on this discussion on our fifth, I think, Tech Talk. I will just share the link of the tutorial that or the Tech Talk that we had before. So it was just a sec. So it was setting up a live server. I will share the link here so you can later on check it out. So this is the link where we had within less than an hour shown how you can set up your own live server from scratch using DigitalOcean. But we during that process we kind of skipped some important steps and we used some things that probably should not be used in that matter. So you should be careful of securing your server in various ways. So let's go about and talk about SSH keys. And we will start by going really hands on and showing how you can basically build your own SSH public key, private key. What's the difference? Why should you even use a key? Why you shouldn't use a password when you want to enter and want to control your server. So these are all the things that we're going to cover today. So let's get on it. I will share the screen in just a sec. So yeah, we have now. We have now the dashboard for the uh, DigitalOcean, and I have one droplet here. You will see if you follow the aforementioned tutorial tech talk that we had, you will see how to set it up. I will not go too much into the detail of that now. I'll just show you how you can put your SSH keys and why it is important to do it. So let's go about and start to create a droplet here. Take some time to load. Yeah. So in a nutshell, we will go about and go on the marketplace, select LAMP. LAMP is Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. It's the environment that is the environment for your server. So it runs on Linux. It uses the web server called Apache. It has a database called MySQL, and it has a programming language PHP in it, pre-installed. And we will go about select the basic plan. You can go with Intel whatever CPU option. We are not going to focus on that too much today. Select the data center region and then go about on selecting the SSH key. You can already tell that there is one key that I have used here before for testing purposes, but right now we are not going to dive into that. We are going to actually see how this process is done. So DigitalOcean being DigitalOcean, it already has covered some of the steps and we will take a look how they explain it away. So we get this window where it says add a public SSH key. And on our right, we have some instructions on how to do it. There, I will go about now on explaining what an SSH key is and how is it important. So when talking about SSH keys, it is a key that is you can separate it into a public key and a private key. Public key is something that you give away. So you put that key on the server that you want to have access to. And at the same time, you create a version of that key, which is called a private key, and you put it on your own computer, on your client, as they call it. So when you want to make that connection from your client, that can be your cell phone, that can be your computer, whatever. So when you want to make that when you want to access that server, then server will ask you for that private key, and you have to provide that private key that actually has a match with that public key you had put on the server. So someone that is trustworthy will put the public key on the server, and it will say, look, when someone asks you to enter, please ask for the other part of that key, which is called private key. And when that person provides the private key, then you can let them in. It is far better than to have a password-based entry, because passwords can be easily guessed or broken, and it really depends on your setup how it will pan out. So uh, in the long run, any password can be cracked. Cracking an SSH key is quite different. So we are asked here to add a public SSH key. We have some instructions here on the right, and uh, I've been thinking about this. So I have on my client, I have Windows running. So that means that I have to use PuTTY. PuTTY is something that I have addressed before. It is client SSH, which allows you to access servers using SSH connection. So it has the regular PuTTY, where you put in the server IP address and the port, and you just go open, and it asks you for your username and password. But if you want to create an SSH key on PuTTY, then you go about clicking on PuTTY Key Generator. PuTTY Key Generator is usually installed along with PuTTY, and it's quite simple to do. So it's quite simple to generate a key using this method. So we access the application called PuTTY Key Generator, and then we click Generate, and it's somewhat silly. It asks you to create some randomness by moving the mouse over the blank area. So by me randomly moving the mouse, a key is being generated. So as it says here, I'm not quite sure if it is visible. Yeah. So it says here, public key for pasting into OpenSSH authorized keys file. What it means, this is the key that you should paste into the server so it can communicate with you via using that combination of public and private keys. So we will go about, and we have generated this, and we will go about and copy all of this. Just go about copy, go on this window and go paste. And we will name this, I don't know, public key test. And that's pretty much it. We click add SSH key, and we have the public key test. The thing is, we have to go back to the PuTTY Key Generator and go about on, we can save the public key, which is here, and we can save the private key. So the public key is something that you can save in order to have it on other servers also, or you can not. You can only put it on this server. It is good practice to save it and to have it available. We will call it public key test. And we will also save the private key. And I will click the save private key so you can see what happens. I've been asked, are you sure that you want to save the key without a passphrase to protect it? So there's an additional security measure where you use the passphrase to protect it actually. So I will click no, and I will type in the passphrase, just some random password, and click save private key. Nothing more. I will call it private key test. Save, and this is it regarding PuTTY Key Generator. We can close this now. So DigitalOcean has its dashboard set up, and its user experience is so well done that you can select the public key and put it into the server using the graphical user interface. You don't have to use the terminal, so it's quite beginner friendly. So we have other questions here. We can choose a host name. We will call it, I don't know, SSH key test. So everything is SSH here. And we will go about and click create droplet. So we are creating a server now called SSH key test, which we will try to access using our key. Let's hope that I did everything right. Let me just check on. Oh, sorry. Let me just check if everyone. So anyone, if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the chat. I'll check it out later on. You can comment. You can ask later on. This is a live stream. If you ask right now, you will get an answer to your question right now. If you don't, we will try to answer it later on. So yeah. All right, let's get back to the setup. Okay, cool. Feel free to let me know if anything isn't working quite properly, or if you cannot see something. I will just put it on another screen here so I can be sure that everything works. Just a sec. Oh, so yeah, cool. All right, we will have now the SSH key test here. We have the IP address of it. So again, you can refer to the 46Elks Tech Talk 5 that we had, setting up a live server. Feel free to go about here and access it. You can check it out and see how we did it. So yeah, cool. We will now go about on copying the IP address of the server and go on our regular PuTTY SSH client. So we paste the IP address here, and the additional step that we need to take is go about on SSH and on host keys, and on auth, and we have to have a private key file for authentication. So it asks us to provide the key that we will use in order to authenticate ourselves to the server. So I will try to, just a sec. Oh, just a second. Let me just find where I put it. I think that I mistakenly had put it here. Oh, we have our colleagues joining in. Hi, Rupus.
Hey.
Hey, we're just in the mid. So I had just created the SSH key, and now I'm trying to put it on the client, the private key, and use it to actually access the server.
Yep.
So very exciting times. Okay.
Is it going well?
So far so good. I'm struggling to find the key. I don't know where I put it. So I'm going to just take the chance now to look for it. It's my fault that I'm using Windows for this. All right, just a sec. Public key. Just a second. So it's very important for you to remember where you put the key. All right, let me just figure it out. Save the private key. Yes, and I had put it in the, oh, okay, found it. So, okay, I will go back on sharing the screen. And go about on PuTTY. So, yeah, perhaps this is, do we have a clear, with some, so we will go about and go on. And I had put it in the installation folder of PuTTY for some reason. So we have the private key test as we named it, and I'll click open and go about on session. So this is the IP address that we are trying to access. And let's give it a go. I think that the port number should stay the same. I don't think that I made any changes there. So let's go about and start. So, oh yeah, so I will just share my whole screen. Just a sec. And okay.
Oh, cool. That's recursion.
Oh. A massive recursion. So let's do it. Yes. So, yeah, I don't see anything. I'm doing something wrong. Just a sec. I have to figure out this share screen business a little better. So yeah, I have it here. So right now I'm going to use, I think it's root, and I've been asked to authenticate with a public key that has been placed on the server. And I will use the passphrase that I've used when I had generated the key using PuTTY Gen. And hopefully, yeah, I'm in.
Hey.
Yay. So the server is called SSH Key Test. Very innovative and very smart. So yeah, we have the key here. We can go about and check out exactly the location of the key. So the key should be in .ssh ID RSA, so your home, and we will check it out if it is there. Just let me figure it out. Sorry. Yeah. So it is not. Oh no. Root. Sorry. And authorized keys. Oh, it is
a file.
It is a file. So we have that key that we paste into the DigitalOcean user interface here. So it's a long, huge key, which you can actually add another key here. So if, for example, Rupus wants to access this server, he will email me or whatever. He can send me via chat and his public key, and I will just paste it here. It is as simple as that. And then I leave it so Rupus only needs to know the IP address of the server, and that's pretty much it. He can access it and go about on, managing the server. So it's quite easy and it's safer than to use a password. So that is the kind of the point of it all. Again, we have kind of covered SSH keys now. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. We will try to answer it. And if not, we will go about on other service that is automatically installed on the most of the images of DigitalOcean servers, droplets. So it's called Fail to Ban. Fail to Ban is a service that, in a nutshell, helps you protect your server from outside attacks. So in a very easy way, it has some of its quirks. It has some quirks. It has some configuration that you have to do, but the default settings are, in a nutshell, it protects you from any brute force attacks. So brute force attacks are anything. So brute force attacks are actually some other computers trying to randomly guess by using some different methods your passwords or any credentials that will make them enter and access your server. So perhaps did I miss anything, Rupus? Could you perhaps fill me in a little bit better on brute force attack definition?
No, that's pretty much it. Use as much computer resources as possible and just brute force it. Try everything, and maybe you get in.
So yeah, and the point of it is for us to realize, so the service, the fail to ban, to realize when one IP address that is trying to connect to our server is doing something bad. So if one IP address is trying to access one resource or trying to type in login credentials 5 times within 3 seconds, that is not human-like behavior, and we should be wary of that. We should be wary of that way of dealing with things. So it's somewhat strange. It suggests that there is someone trying to do something bad. So yeah, let's go about on. We will check out fail to ban a little bit. I'll go about here. Yeah. So I think it is. Oh, it's not. Okay. Super. And we have the jail.conf, or failtoban.conf, sorry. So we can access it here. So this is the configuration of the fail to ban service, which we explained before. Okay. So we have a bunch of options here. And the thing that we usually look for and try to kind of tweak a little bit is.
I think that's actually in the jail.com file.
Okay, sorry. Takes volumes of me setting up fail to ban. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have the already this is commented out, but we can see what it is all about. So we have the ban time. We can define some ban time for a certain IP address. We can enable certain protocols for so that fail to ban looks for some ports or some port protocols that are being used, and etc. Yeah, let's go on. Okay, so max tries. I'm trying to get to the action sender ports.
We're looking for the SSH
SSH, right?
settings.
Yes.
Yeah. They might be.
All right.
Oh, there it is.
So yeah. So to use more aggressive SSHD modes, set filter parameter modes in jail local. Okay.
It might be in jail.directory. There might be a specific file for SSH in jail.d.
Oh, you okay? So it's in jail directory. So where can I see it?
In the jail.d directory.
Oh, okay.
It might be.
Debian defaults, perhaps. It's just enabled.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, to have it configured. So I just want to have like the example of configuring it a bit. So let me go on. So fail to ban fail to ban conf. Okay. So we go about on jail.conf. I open up a new file. That's cool. All right. Okay. On next on Nano. So when you search SSH servers,
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the default settings for SSH, where you can actually set the max tries, ban time, etc. So I'm looking for that. So
Aren't those the ones you were looking at now?
yeah, are there? So they are.
These ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Ban time, find time.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Those are, I think, global. I think you can set individual ban, find, and retry it. But these are the ones that will default for all services.
So basically, what we define here is the maximum retries, where we can set, I don't know, 10 tries, and after that, it will kind of ban that IP address for 10 minutes.
Yep. And it's
And
the maximum amount of retries within the find time. So 5 retries within 10 minutes. So if you have 4 tries within 10 minutes and 1 in after the
10th.
11th minute, then you won't be banned. Or, yep.
Yeah. So basically, we can check out the log, and based on the activity there, and based on the activity that we see on the firewall, then we can conclude if we should tweak it a little bit. So I'm not sure, perhaps already, so we can go about on the other subject called spiders and bots and crawlers, etc. So we can check it out and see what is happening with the logs. So right. Pull and log. Oh, perhaps I should have went. Let's
It's
see.
access.log, probably.
So here we have. We can see the information from people trying to access that server. So I'll go about on that server and try to access it a little bit. I'm going to poke it a little bit. So let me go about and trying to. So I will try to run something. You can tell I have just using Windows, and I have the so I don't know if it is visible my IP address. So so that is good to show to the world. So my IP address and the other things visible here. We have my system Windows here, and you can tell that I had tried and I had publicly accessed the server. So when you see some weird behavior here regarding from some IP addresses trying to access some URLs that are somewhat like login.html or PHP, or it kind of sounds like they are trying to access some resource in order to find some vulnerabilities, then it is good to perhaps tweak the fail to ban a little bit, or go about directly on IP tables, which where you can control, which is actually a firewall for Linux, and you can ban directly some IP addresses that you can detect here are an issue. I think that also we can check out the fail to ban log. There's a fail to ban log, which you can see what fail to ban is doing. So let's check it out. Sure. Out. Failed to ban log. Oh, okay, cool. So we will just go here and say and write fail to.
You're in the Apache 2 directory now, or varlog Apache 2 / fail to ban.
Oh, okay. So I'm in log. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. We have the initiation here. Max channel. So fails found. Some info.
Press enter a few times and you might be able to see. There we go.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Our pictures are below. So perhaps if you, Rupus, if you would like to try and go about, so I will share the IP address on here on the chat.
Yeah,
so you
that should be
help you
fine.
out a little bit. Here. So
Thank you.
Privately. So just try to poke it a little bit and let's see what's going on.
Let's do.
Get yourself banned.
I'm trying to log in to your system with SSH with the root account, though nothing is showing up. So I'm getting connection refused. Is it the correct IP address?
Just a sec. Yep.
Oh wait, yeah, maybe I'm banned.
Okay.
It should show up there.
You're already banned.
That's why I'm getting connection refused probably. I got permission denied a few times and then now I'm connection refused.
Yeah, I'm going to access the log directly because it didn't show me anything here. Oh, okay. Shutdown in progress. Stopping out jail. Found. Okay. So again, auth file. Perhaps I should be looking at the auth file log.
I think failed to ban log because it says found your IP address probably there, which is it found a IP address. If you check, just do IP tables -big L. You could find somewhere the rules and see if I'm actually banned. But it's probably at the top of this file. Should say something about.
Okay, it is
failed to ban.
Anywhere. Block. Okay, so accept. Limit.
Seems like. Are there any? My IP address starts with 185.9. If you look at the journal CTL, you should be able to see the login attempts.
Where is it located in the log?
So journal CTL, it's a command.
Oh, okay.
If it's a Debian server, journal CTL in one word. Yeah. And yeah, your root. That's weird.
Yeah. But you have been banned. So you had.
Yes.
If you access it using a browser, will you see? Can you see? Can you access it using a browser?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I get the DigitalOcean. Please log into your Droplet to with SSH configure.
So you can. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but I think
only SSH.
Yeah, it probably bans by port. So I'm banned from port 22.
Oh yeah. Generally speaking, it's a good tool to have because it can help you stop most of the attacks in its tracks. So that's the whole point of it. Another thing that we could cover, and usually when people are starting off with servers and stuff like that, they are actually somewhat confused on what is this traffic. So what's going on? Why is someone trying to access all of my server that has nothing interesting on it? So can you explain a bit about the role of numerous names of bots, crawlers, spiders? What are the other names?
Yep. Things trying to log into your server via SSH. They are either out for your data if you have any, but trying to log into DigitalOcean droplets, they're probably looking for badly configured new machines. And what they want to do with those are to use those to log into other machines, or maybe do DDoS attacks against other services. So they're not really interested in what is on your computer, but using your computer's resources for free.
It is. It is. Is it all malicious attacks or not? Attack. Is it all attacks and are all of these visitations malicious?
They might not be. You could just there are bots crawling the web for indexing purposes, like Google bots or Bing bot or other crawlers that indexes web pages so that they can find stuff, so that you can find stuff on the web.
Yeah, and there are
And
other services that we never heard of that provide service for something on the web, and they like to be updated on new stuff, new servers that appear, new
yep,
IP address. So I've noticed that some obscure companies I never heard of, I saw it on my log and went and checked it out, and I saw that it's actually a service that provides some information regarding other servers.
yep,
So yeah, it doesn't have to be anything bad, but
nope,
it is a good way to have. It is smart, let's call it that way, to have an SSH key, which you give out, and then you have your private key stored on your computer, which is protected by a passphrase, and that passphrase actually can be something very much simple, and you don't have to be worried about your passwords as much being complicated, being very um, how do you call it? It's not internet proof. It's like hack proof or something like that. All of the upper lower cases, special characters, and stuff like that. Yeah. I heard a joke. So there's this meme going on placing commas in your passwords. So when when your password gets exported into an CSV um, spreadsheet, then you can actually have it like be broken. So it's cool, but so use complicated passwords while we still use passwords. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the part where we wanted to talk a bit about securing your server. So again, if you want to check out how to set up your server from the get-go, use this link. I have already mentioned it and posted it in the chat. So this is the Tech Talk number 5, where we talked about setting up a live server. It's pretty much covered, and you can use that as a get-go to start your server. We had already kind of shown that in this tutorial also. It's quite simple using DigitalOcean, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, Next time, we are going to talk about having server set up, and then we will run WordPress on it, which is the most popular blogging. It's not even a blogging platform anymore. Just a um, hmm, how do you,
website, web
yeah,
page builder,
web page
pretty
builder,
much.
yeah, framework, yeah, and it's quite popular. We will show you how to put it up, and then we will show you how to put up our plugin add-on on it. So we will show how we will go about and show you how to set up a WordPress page, and then we will show you again how you can put the 46X plugin add-on on it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. We are here to help you out. And if not, have a good weekend. Have a good weekend, Rupus, also.
You too.
And yeah, take care. Bye.
Bye.